All right, Yogi. So we're going to start. You can start in a simple child pose if you'd like. As you can see, guys, I do have a blanket down, my mat and a blanket, just to have padding. It is a floor-based practice. But first position is child pose. If you want a little extra, notice I do have my blocks about 1.5 feet in front of my knees. My arms are on the blocks. That's going to open up the underarm a little bit more. That muscle is called the latissimus dorsi. Big back muscle runs from your upper shoulder to your lower back. All right. I'm letting the head fall between. Notice my arms are not wide. On the blocks, my arms are like this. They're not like that. Okay. All right. So first posture, we're going to go about another 2 minutes here, guys. So you want to try to settle in. This is a great class to practice your breathing. I'm actually going to time the poses. So most poses will be about a 3-4 minute hold, unless it's a two-sided pose. This is a huge stretch, right? It's really hitting the ankles, the feet, the knees, the thighs, the lower back, and again, this underarm muscle. There is one more option. If your hands are on blocks, you could kind of bend the elbows and the hands come to prayer behind the head. That would be kind of the biggest variation there. So your elbows have to be on the blocks if you're doing that, okay? And it's this muscle here. See this? This is all muscle that I'm grabbing. It's our strongest like pull muscle right there. And it gets associated with frozen shoulder, the shoulder not being able to move well, the arm not being able to lift, a lot of tightness and restriction in the upper body. It kind of goes under the radar when sometimes when we think of releasing the shoulder. All right. I'm going to keep it going here, yogis. So there's your first big stretch. We're going to make it up to tabletop, and I'm just going to take 2 minutes only for moving exercises, just to get a little light blood flow going. Good old cat-cow is where I'm going to start. My lower back's a little tight, so I would probably do extra of these if I was in practice this morning. I'm going to circle now. As you can see, it's not forward and back anymore. It is more of this kind of exploratory type of cat-cow. Just giving you some suggestions for the warm-up, okay? I'm going to go to a down dog just for about 20 seconds, emphasizing on movement here, because we're going to hold still postures and breathe. Last two movements, guys, for warm-up. Again, this is just less structured. I'm just going to circle out the hip and move the knee back and forward a little bit. You know, I remember just studying this idea. The legs are weight-bearing body parts. They basically bear your weight all day long. As soon as you get up, they got to carry your body around. So the idea is to take the weight off in therapeutics and just move it a lot. Right? Take the weight off, move it more than it normally does. Weight bearing tightens and restricts. It does make it stronger, but it also can restrict blood flow. So that's the idea, just kind of moving that leg a lot more than normal, okay? And then the last little warm-up movement I'm going to do, it's for the rotation of your core. It's for the shoulders as well. I'm going to reach that right arm under and then right arm up and open. Okay, right arm under, left armpit, right arm up and open. And you know, you do like 6 to 10 of those per side. Really, I do yin all the time without warm up, but I don't know if that's comfortable for everyone. So I like to try to give you a little warm up, okay? So right now we're threading the needle. And then opening the chest to the sky. All right, yogis. First yin position is the straddle. I'm going to keep moving forward. When I see a couple people in it that I can see, I will start our clock. Basically, your main goal is to sit with your legs open. If you need to sit up against a wall or your hands behind you, that's fine. And look, I do use a little active energy to get in. I'm like lengthening through my heels. Again, I have some nice extra padding today because it's yin. Usually when I do yin, it's a softer surface, then stronger yoga. If you're going for it, we're going to go forward here. And our goal is to relax, yogis. Just like weight-bearing exercise tightens, this kind of passive intention might break up some of that adhesion. All right, we're already been on the clock. Close your eyes. Work on breathing deep in and out the nose into your tightness. One extra awareness here. Notice my feet have relaxed, right? I do like to use my hands to pull a little bit. I'll show you a little exaggerated. Watch, I pull. It's like the floor is tractioning. It's pulling on my thighs under and backward, okay? Then I start to relax and breathe. Remember, you got to get through that initial uncomfort. That's key, all right? Just like anything, you're in the sauna, got to get through that initial first sweat. Sweating is designed to cool you down. Until you sweat a lot, you won't feel cooler. Stay with it, yogis. Initially, I was on the hands. I'm feeling a little tight today. I couldn't come to my forearms. Now I've opened up. You can notice the change fast. Try to relax in your legs. Breathe. I always feel this stretch a lot in my lower back. And that shows you how connected your hamstrings and inner thighs are to your lower back. I like to add deep breath holds. Big inhale in your nose, filling up the lungs as deep as possible. And holding. Big inhale. Nice job. Let's slowly sit up. Shake your legs out. Move slow, especially if you're feeling extra achy or tight. Neutralize any sensations. So that is a short hold in yin. You're welcome to hold longer if you feel like you need. Okay? Next position, back to tabletop. It is a good idea to use bolsters and pillows. If you do have those props and need them, good practice for that, okay? Second position is called the lizard. Our legs were straight and wide. Now they're forward and back, okay? Really opening up the hips to start. Starting in tabletop, I'm gonna put my hands on blocks. Right foot outside right hand. Just notice the back knee in relation to the hips. It's not here, guys. See that? I'm crawling the knee back. So first position was about a 3.5 minute hold. This is going to be about 2.5 minutes per side. So I'm going to come down to my forearms on the blocks, and I'm letting the hips descend down. Again, there is a little fidgeting involved to get comfortable. Let's say as comfortable as possible here. But I am going to start the clock. Yogis, this is not a fidgeting practice. All right, we're trying to be still. Use your breath to create similar effects as movement. So deep breathing, please. I'm going to let my head hang a little bit here to stretch the back of the neck. So the foot is outside the hands, yogis. That's key. So the knee doesn't just run into your ribs. You get a little less pinching in the hip flexor area. See how my arms are inside that right foot. Remember, it's passive. Try to be still. That's your practice, being still. Hold the position, breathe deep. This is where you're getting the change. Less than a minute left. Big inhale. Slowly exit. You know, that's that. For me today, it's the back hip flexor. Sometimes that hits the front leg a little bit more. Today was hitting that back front hip. I need it there today, right? You shake it out, and you do some poses to neutralize. Movement's a good way to increase blood flow. That will kind of reduce the achiness, all right? Second side, when you're ready, guys. Left foot outside, left block, hand. Right knee curls back. And I'm going to come to my forearms. Looks like I can see a few of you are in it. And I'll start the clock. Remember, you can add little things, especially in the beginning. You know, there's a little extra movement, fidgeting. But eventually, your intention, I have to remind you, is to be still. Yang is moving. The breath is deep, but it's calm. Remember, as you're holding the pose, you might think you're relaxing, but you kind of keep peeling away the layers of tension, exposing these kind of very subconscious tensions in the body. All right. Big inhale and exhale. That's 2.5 minutes per side. Okay. Not too long of a hold. Some days it's supposed to be 5 minutes per side there. So that's a half hold. All right. Fourth position here is our Sphinx. So these two kind of go together, right? Hip flexors up through core a little bit more. All right. So this is going to be a tiny bit longer of a hold here. Anytime we're doing the one-sided posture, it's more of an extended position, okay? If you're feeling good, you go for Cobra. This is for people with back pain, right? Might achy if you're feeling it, but just try to initially get some length, and I'm going to start the clock because I see a few is in there. All right, let's breathe into the abdomen. If anything, don't let your heels knock together, they knock apart, but a little more neutral on the top of the foot if you can. This can get a little tense around the shoulders. That's normal. We hold this posture a very long time in yoga. We're trying to go for 4 minutes and we're halfway, okay? A lot of times when I do yin, I might play like an audio book or play music. A good practice to do that if you'd like. We have about 40 seconds left. So what's nice is the shoulders might feel tense from this. and shoulder stretches next. All right. Big inhale. That's 4 minutes, yogi. Slowly release. Take a moment. If you need to do anything, I'm going to do this here, this kind of windshield-like thing to neutralize, because our next position is down here on the chest. It's going to roll out my ankles and windshield wipe. Now, this is the rotator cuff, shoulder, chest opener. There actually is a lot of potential release here. Again, I'm going to do the bigger version because we got a smaller group. My arm goes out at a 90-degree angle. My arm is not like this, guys. It's out. The elbow is about as high as the shoulder, okay? I'm going to roll a little open to my chest, open to the left, okay? So you can see I'm readjusting my knee in front of me, my hips a little, to get comfortable here and breathe, all right? All right, let's breathe here, meditate, 2.5 minutes. I'm using my left hand to push, but also really trying to find a way to relax here, guys. You might feel it around the waist, hips even, right? Depending on how far you're going. Initially, you can press your palm, your right palm, elbow and shoulder down to feel more stretch. Then start to relax. Big inhale. Nice job. Slowly release. Second side, please. I'm moving a little to the right of my mat. Left arm is going to go out behind me. Again, I'm doing the 90-degree angle one that usually is called the second variation. Just because we have a big group of regulars, just notice my head is resting down. It is more difficult to reach your right leg behind you here with the bent arm. So I'm using it more as that shoulder, upper body intention. All right, starting the clock. Just make sure you're really reaching that elbow out to get that space, and notice how that feels a little better maybe. Big inhale. When you're done, slowly exit. You might notice, yogis, as you get further into that, it's almost like the stretch is very different at the end. Quick child pose might feel good here, guys. After the big kind of twist, and they're both kind of in a back bend world there. So we did child pose. We're not going to hold too long, but maybe a breath or three there. Whew. The last 2 weeks, I've actually done my yin practice on Sunday evenings, personally, okay? Let's come up now. Okay, so I want to do an outer hip stretch. Traditionally, we do pigeon. I'm not going to do it today because we did the lizard. I want to do that Gomukhasana for the hips. It's a little bit deeper in the hips, but if you feel like you want to do the one-legged pigeon, that's fine. Now, Gomukhasana sometimes can be a little tough to get into. Right heel outside left knee, left heel swings around. See that? Left heel is by right hip. I'm trying to get the right sit bone down. I'm on the outer edge of my feet, pulling my feet back, starting to stack my knees facing forward more. All right, so this is the posture. It's just like seated straddle forward fold. You're trying to sit up tall first. And then maybe you work on going forward if you need hands behind you or something to sit against the wall. All right. If you cannot do this, remember, you can do this posture, pigeon. It's another true yin posture. You can also do this one. I'd rather have some type of good, so you can get a stretch. See, I'm holding the crossed shins. Okay, that's Sukhasana. All right, so I'm going to go back to Gomukhasana. You've been on the clock already for almost 30 seconds. About another 2 minutes on the first side. Big, deep breathing into those hips, yogis. Big inhale. That's 2.5 minutes. That's all I can really give us today. And then this short hour class, okay? When I started yin about 8-9 years ago, we used to do yin more like hour 15. And I noticed how it's really changed. It used to hurt a lot more. Now it feels good. It really has changed how my body interprets the sensations. I'm getting ready for my second side already. Take your time if you need more time in between. This is our outer hip stretch, the IT band, the rotational hips. All right. So I see a couple of you already starting to get in. Everyone set? Let's get started. Second side here, go yogis. Doesn't have to be perfect. Be still, get into your stretch range and breathe deep. Big inhale. Nice job there. That's 2.5 minutes. Please release slowly. All right, so we've come upon our biggest stretch of class. Just take a moment and shake that out. I'm gonna get a sip of my tea. I just want to remind you, yogis, I was talking about, these sensations changing, how your nervous system interprets the pain or the sensation for pleasure. I'm reading a neuropsychology book right now, well, audio book. It's free on YouTube, by the way. It's by a famous neuroscientist meditation teacher, Joe Dispenza. It's called Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. Breaking the habit of being yourself. What does that really mean? It just means the conditioned subconscious patterns and habits in your lifestyle. That's what it means by breaking the habit of being yourself. And I'm only about 30% in. I haven't got to the functional stuff we can do to help the condition, but he's talking about basically children or people at a young age. We're all taught to feel certain things. A child is maybe felt to feel ashamed. A child is felt to feel guilty. A child is taught in many different ways to feel fear. A child is taught to feel sad. A child is taught to feel happy. You're basically conditioning your cellular receptors. So each new generation of cells, I'll make a really long story short. He said you get addicted to that emotion. So you're always taught to feel ashamed. You're always taught to feel angry. You're always taught to feel guilty. And then it's your cellular receptors get better at receiving the chemical, but then the new evolved cells are like more evolved for that condition. And sitting in certain states of meditation to retrain your emotions and your thought patterns about yourself and conditions. I haven't got to the functional stuff, but it was a fascinating idea that we're addicted to certain emotional states. Okay, it is a literal chemical addiction that he's going to get into eventually, and I'll let you guys know that stuff eventually. Next pose. Let's keep going, guys. All right. So big toes touch. And this is the big one. I mentioned it. This is the one that most people are going to try to avoid, probably. Okay. Big toes touch, knees wide. It's child pose, but you go backwards. Look at my heels. They don't go out like that. See, you can see my heel? You don't want that. I want the heel up and under the glute. Now, as I go further back, I have to readjust my glutes, but they never turn out. I'm starting the clock, guys. All right, come on now. This is the one I need you to relax and breathe. You're gonna feel it in the ankles, the thighs, the hips, but the target is eventually that lower back area. This is biggest lower back arch of class. Trying to drop the head back eventually. This could be a very important posture for the bolsters, right? Being in this middle space, my back is tight. Like most days, I can just lay all the way back easy, right? Like something is very restricted on me right now. I did about 6 hours of massage, kind of bent over a table. And that always makes my back tight. And I drive so much to those. Sometimes my back gets tight from those forward bent positions. You know, I'm feeling it. See, we're about 3:45 in, and all that pain that initially was there is like gone. If you give it a chance, yogis, you got to give it a chance to work. You know, you're trying to work in that difficulty. Holding the posture is the practice. That's 4 minutes. Exit slowly. We get our nice gentle twist. This is the only pose that's not in like true length of yin. It is about a minute and a half only, okay? So I'm gonna lay on my back. You can do a different twist if you prefer. Double knee, single leg. I'm gonna do the cross leg. I like that counter after doing straddles and, you know, we crossed the legs once in class. Hips to the knee, hips to the right. We did it in Gomukhasana, but in case you didn't get to do it, right? So knees flop to the left. Arms spread, breath is deep. I like to bring my arms to the back corners of the room. That's pec minor now. That is a different release than out to the sides. Maybe you can let your head fall to the right. Big inhale. Slowly release. You're more than welcome to hold longer, guys. I just want to make sure we get our last couple of postures in. Left thigh over right, hips left, knees to the right. Lengthen the core a little bit. Spread the arms, look left. Twisting is one of my favorite times to take a deep inhale, particularly around the abdomen, and hold the breath. Oh, we're over. Slow. Nice inhale. A lot of times I'll do yin a little bit more intuitive than this, but I kind of have to restrict us to timing just so we get what we're trying to do done, okay? Bring the knees in the chest, guys. Take a moment. Final shoulder release. The Gomukhasana compression rotator cuff, the bottom arm. We do it a lot in classes. Rolling onto your left. We have two more poses left, guys. Right arm reaches up the back. Look at the elbow. It's not up and out. It's down and in. Look at the hand. It's not on the side. It's on the spine. Okay. I spread the fingers and I roll onto my back. A little bit lighter is to knock your knees together or just release the legs, okay? Try to get comfortable. Really let this one get heavy, guys. You've got to practice tuning in and letting go around the shoulder, arm, neck. Big inhale. Nice job there, yogis. That's 2.5 minutes. Remember, it's basically everything over 1.5 minutes. Some people say 2 minutes. Depends maybe on how often you're doing this, because your body adapts to anything it does, right? So the more you do it, the quicker you might get this release. So that's 2.5 minutes. That's kind of our minimum really in yin, okay? Left arm up the back. Some people would say 2 minutes is the minimum. Left arm up the back. Take time in between if you need. Lay on your back, close your eyes. Try to relax, please. This is when I notice, personally, I have a lot of like very subconscious tension. I think I'm relaxing, but if I practice tuning in, I can relax deeper and deeper. Second side. Big inhale. Slowly release. Last posture, guys. I don't know if you can tell, sometimes this makes you feel like almost like euphoric, like a little woo. You can feel the chemicals rushing in the body. Tight muscles lock chemicals, and they like harden hormones in the body, whether it's positive or negative, and you get that release into the bloodstream. All right, final pose, caterpillar. Shift forward. Yogis, this is going to be it. I'm going to maybe guide you into a brief meditation. I'm going to bring you right up to the end here. Yogi, it's not this one. We're going forward. You can bend the knees. You can use your bolster or blanket, but this is the pose. I'm going to let the head hang heavy. All right? It's forehead to knee. I want to try to let my head hang so heavy that the back of your neck, upper back, lower back, light up, okay? Let's do this. Last posture. Let's go. Deep breathing into your upper back, wherever you're feeling that tightness. This is also one of my favorite postures, to take deep breaths into my middle upper back and hold. So biggest inhale, hold. Big inhale. Nice job there, guys. Let's get to closing meditation. Either lay on your back or sit. Just something to relax the body just for a minute or three here. So you shake that out. You sit in the echoes of the practice. So remember, you can be a little sore from yin yoga. That's normal whenever you're changing the conditions of the body. Tomorrow might be a good day to move a lot, right? Where you could do a little cardio, extra movement practice, extended movement. I am going to leave you guys here today, and I appreciate you guys showing up. And, if you have any feedback, let me know. I like to mix in this stuff, and we probably should be doing this once a week. We're doing a lot of strengthening throughout the week. So I'm here on Tuesday for Yoga Core at 9 a.m. and then the Hatha Yoga Thursday. All right. Thank you, yogis. Have a good Sunday. Namaste.